Hello there, Ray here, and we got a brand new snapshot today. This is 20W17A, with it comes a lot of bug fixes, as well as a few new features added into Minecraft. This is all for the 1.16 Nether update. They're getting very close to doing the full release, but they're obviously trying to take time to fix these type of bugs. And if you guys haven't already, we're getting very close to 100,000 subscribers, so make sure to go ahead and hit the sub button, as well as turn on your notifications so you get informed of when we do our snapshot testing stream, which will be right after this video goes to live. We're going to be opening up a world like this where you guys can hop on and we're going to build up as well as test new things that are in the snapshot. So if you guys have any suggestions on what we should do, you can also put those down in the comments. And you can find my Twitch link down below. Now let's get into all the new changes. So the first change that they made is when creating a new world, besides having the name, they also have all the game modes accessible right from here. You can also have all the difficulties switched up from here, and they also added game rules. So every single game rule that you can do in the game can be tweaked prior to making a new world. So let's say you want to change the respawn location radius, you can do that ahead of time, without having to have cheats on in a survival world. They also had a change, which is the entity distance slider. There's 100%, there's 50%, you can also go all the way up to 500%. And you think this would allow you to change how far you can see an entity, because normally, let's see, we're at like 100% right here. Normally if you go back so far, entities start being removed from the game. That way you're just not rendering them. Less leg and stuff like that. You can even see that like chest are tile entities, and those also after a while no longer render. Right about here, most stuff starts removing away. Armor stand you can see from much farther away. But if we actually change this option to like 500%, it doesn't actually seem to change anything. The distance which you can see these guys is still the same. And they did confirm that there is a problem to do with this. They improved the smithing table's UI. We got a hammer here. We also got image of an ingot here. Go ahead and give it a try. So let's put some armor in there and see if it still works. Yeah, it looks like that one worked. And then here is some enchanted armor. Yep, it also keeps its enchantment. I also got some stacked armor. Let's see if it works. No. So there's still a bug. Do it stacked armor. You shouldn't take the whole stack to make one, so hopefully they fix that. They also changed the spawn rate of ruined portals, which is something they added in the last snapshot. It did seem to like spawn about every 200 blocks, which does seem pretty frequent, so now they decreased that. They also renamed the Soulfire torch, as well as the other different types of Soulfire stuff, to just Soul Torch, Soul Lantern, as well as Soul Campfire. Kind of makes sense, as the normal torch is just called torch. It doesn't have the word fire in it. Now, if you want to place down the actual block of fire, it is still called Soul Fire. They also changed the loot that you can find inside the Bastion remnants. So the changes that they made to the loot chest that you can get from the Bastion treasure is they removed the netherite gear. So now you still get like the ancient debris, the scraps, as well as the ingots, but you don't get any of the actual completely built up armor or tools. Instead, they give you like diamond sword, a randomly enchanted diamond chestplate, diamond helmet, diamond leggings. They're all randomly enchanted, as well as boots. They also give you some diamond swords that have set durability, so they're damaged quite a bit, that aren't randomly enchanted. So that way you kind of have to make your own sets by taking like this diamond stuff and then putting it with some of the ancient debris or other things that you find in here. They also decrease the chance of getting stuff like netherite scraps, or netherite ingots in ancient debris. And thanks for cheater codes for sending me the new loot tables. So the Bastion remnant loot overall has been nerfed. They also made changes to walls and which blocks can actually kind of convert them into this type of wall from more of the flat one. So they added stuff like pressure plates. You can see that changed it. Signs, you can see changed it. There's also banners. They added more things that will make it look a little more natural with the blocks standing on top of it. They also made a change to block storage format in chunks, slightly changed to speed up various tasks like rendering, pathfinding, world generation, and etc. Hopefully you guys notice some improvements overall in the game. And hopefully we don't have problems with like chunks getting swapped around like we've seen in past versions. This includes changes to save level.dat and now use a randomly named temporary file instead of using level.new every time. Also player.dat is now saved in a way similar to level.dat. The changes that they made to block storage is that block states in section elements no longer contain values stretching over a multiple of 64-bit fields. This also means that there is a slight increase in the storage size from 320 to 342. They also added a new attribute command, so you can do /attribute and then you can choose an entity. It adds modification attributes on a single entity. I could do something like attribute raise, and then I could check max health. I could do get, hit enter, you see the value of this entity, which is raise, is a max of 20. You can see there's a lot of attributes, and you can do a lot of things like this. Like you can add attributes, remove them, not only from the player, but from any entity. This can be very useful for people to try and make like custom apps or such types of entities. They also added so chat component style can now select font, and they added the full range of Unicode characters is now supported. That means you should be able to do like more images and pictures with text. As part of the chat components, there's hover over events. So like you can hover over different things. Like if I didn't have this filled in, I could hover over all this stuff here and then select it. They also added a show text one as well as show item one, where it can show the ID of the item or the count or the tag. They did a similar thing for like entities. So you can hover over them and change different values. So you can see like if I hover over top of I of vendor, it's going to come up showing little tag that says I of vendor, like the actual name that you'd expect to see in a game compared to what the code uses. This just gives more flexibility for people not only playing vanilla, but also people that are trying to make like custom blocks and stuff. They also add a property for color, so you can change the color as it shows up if you want to. This includes custom fonts as well. You can choose what type of custom font you want. You can do this with a resource pack. They also made a change to the fonts with the Force Unicode option. Now switches between normal as well as alternative font using the uniform.json, and you don't have to reload in order for it to work. They fixed a bug so that if you have items inside the furnace and you would break it, you're given the XPs as well. There was also a strange bug to do if the player would fly through vines. It would slow down the player as he moves, and it looks like it still applies to twisting vines. They removed it from ladders as well as normal vines. Using one empty map wasn't increasing the used map statistic. Looks like my player is also going in circles on the map, even though I haven't moved. They also fixed a problem to do with sprint particles being added even though the player was in spectator running across the ground. This is something that was pretty noticeable when you would have the soul speed boots on and go over top of soul blocks while in spectator mode. I removed the kind of cooler trick you could do if you were in kind of swimming mode or elytra mode. Your hitbox would be quite small, but then if you click on a boat, it could also stay small inside the boat. You can see now the player will automatically sit upright. This was useful for doing kind of x-raying in the ground. It would also cause the player to suffocate if there was a solid block below him. There was quite a few blocks that mobs AI would not be able to pathfind on top of. I would use this in the past to trap zombies just by using end rods, but this included stuff like end rods, bamboo, lecterns, grindstone bales, heads, sea pickles, cocoa, flower pots, lanterns, ladders, and campfires are extinguished. There was a problem people were getting kicked off servers for the reason of flying is not enabled on this server while they were just trying to sleep in a bed. There was a crashing of the game that would occur when you do the recipe command that they fixed. There was also a problem with the locate command as well as explorer maps, treasure maps were causing extreme TPS lag, even leading to servers completely freezing if a structure generation is turned off. And this is something we noticed a lot during our testing and trying to locate different things in the world. There's a problem that sneaking or crouching twice was actually allowing the player to sprint. There was a bug where you were unable to actually name tag a parrot unless it was flying. And they now fixed this. There's a weird bug to do in snapshots where players can only access a shulker box one at a time. Pretty annoying during our testing. I'm glad that was fixed. They also made a change to piglings so that they will now accept stuff that is enchanted more than stuff that is unenchanted. So if they're able to actually wear some armor and it is unenchanted, they will put something on that is enchanted. And it looks like this piece that he put on got its enchantment removed. Okay, let's kill him. Let's see if we get it enchanted. Yeah, it's still enchanted. So maybe the enchantment just doesn't show up on the piglings. Probably another bug. There was a problem to do with the respawn anchor, not checking which dimension was the correct dimension to respawn the player in. They also fixed a bug to do with Striders running really fast up against blocks. Extremely speedy way to move with Striders that we showed quite a few weeks ago, but it wasn't really that useful as boats were faster in most cases. It seemed like they also made it so that Striders are more likely to get babies on top. I've never seen this many. I mean, pretty much every single one around here has a baby on top. This one has two, which is quite rare if these are naturally spawned in. There was a problem that when you would right click a lodestone with a stack of compasses, it would convert the entire stack. What happens when your inventory is full? Okay, it just drops it out. The /recipe command can give you pretty much every single recipe in the game that we don't have to try to craft them up, but there was a problem that it wasn't giving the players the map recipe, but you can see it now, it's there. They fixed a bug to do with dropping compasses where the needle was always pointing upwards. Now you can see it is animated, it's moving all over the place, even on both sides of it. They fixed the texture on the Strider to do with the saddle. The saddle is actually on backwards, so now it's the right direction. They also fixed it so you can hit space in here, allowing you to only find stuff that has space in the name. They also have it so that if any zombie or anything else picks up a compass, the needle will also move, which is pretty cool. In the creative menu, they also sorted out netherite ingots being in the proper location by the other ingots. There was a problem that shulker boxes were playing the closing sound when the opening animation was occurring. They relocated the walls that were down here and put them over here in the decoration with all the other walls. There's a problem that if you made a horse invisible, it would still show the patterns on it. They also relocated the new blackstone pressure plate as well as blackstone button into beside the other pressure plates. They should really redo the redstone menu here. It's really messed up as the redstone dust is at the very bottom. They should put all the unique redstone components at the top and then put these components that there's multiple of down at the bottom. That way we don't have to scroll down here just to get redstone dust. There's other problems like this in the creative menu. There's a problem that baby zoglings were using the same attack damage as adults, so now they'll use the smaller amounts similar to baby hoglings. There's a problem that the piglins were not picking up gold if their inventory is full of other stuff that they picked up. They have fixed that. And that allows them to still be able to barter. Dispensers were playing the wrong sound as if they were actually putting items into a respawn anchor even though they didn't add any items. They fixed a problem we noticed to do with TNT and where it would explode. The actual eye location, which is this blue line here, was actually moved way down too low, meaning that anywhere you use TNT, like in a blast chamber, it would cause it to be off. So like our infinitely automatic mushroom tree farm was actually working improperly for that snapshot, but it's now been fixed, which is awesome. Badland biome was being treated as a mountainous biome for the rune portals. This was causing the rune portals to fail at spawning at these locations. Assault delta blocks were able to replace nether brick blocks that come in these nether fortresses. So they went ahead and fixed that. You shouldn't see part of your fortress being removed by it. Oddly enough, there's actually some quartz blocks right in here. There's a bug that entities weren't burning in fire when the fire was exposed to rain. The fire now burns entities again. Overall, quite a few bug fixes in this version, as well as tweaking to the bastions. The developers did ask people to take a survey on what they think about the Nether update. I'll link it down below. This does mean they're getting ever closer to coming out with a full release of it. Pretty much everything that we heard about during Minecon, it looks like it is coming into the game. We got the bastions, which was one of the last things. We still haven't got a real use for the fletching table yet. We did get one for the smithing table. It does seem like they've been trying very hard to fix any bugs that come out to do with the snapshot, as well as old ones that are related to things that they fixed in the snapshot. I'd also love to hear your guys' opinions about the Nether update. Don't forget, guys, we are doing a snapshot testing stream with the viewers. You guys can hop on to this world and test out all the new features of the 1.16 update. You can find more information on my Twitch channel. And don't forget to share this video with other Minecrafters so they can learn about the new changes to the soon to come 1.16 update, as well as leave a like on the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.